You ever felt a shift in the air, like something powerful is quietly happening and only a few can truly sense it? That's the energy of an empath rising, and the strange, almost uncomfortable way narcissists can feel it too. You see, when someone who truly understands, feels, and sees the world with depth steps into their full power, it doesn't happen loudly or with fanfare. It happens quietly, like a spark igniting in the dark, unseen but unstoppable. And the most fascinating part? The narcissists around them feel it before anyone else even notices. They sense the control slipping, the energy changing, and it terrifies them, not because the empath is doing anything aggressive, but because they are simply being themselves, walking their path, and trusting God's perfect timing. This isn't just about winning over someone else, it's about rising, evolving, and reclaiming your power in a way that leaves no room for toxicity to thrive. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly why the universe's timing is always perfect, why empaths rise at the right moment, and how narcissists can't help but feel it. And if you're ready to witness the silent power of empaths and learn how this invisible shift can change everything around you, make sure you stay until the very end, because what you're about to discover will make you see relationships, energy, and your own potential in a completely new light. Don't forget to comment below if you've ever felt this shift in your life, or hit that subscribe button to join our journey as we uncover the hidden power of empathy and the subtle ways the universe moves in your favor. As the empath quietly rises, their presence, confidence, and inner alignment begin to create subtle shifts in energy that are impossible for narcissists to ignore. These individuals, accustomed to controlling situations and bending others to their will, immediately sense when the balance of power is changing, even if the empath isn't doing anything overtly confrontational. Narcissists are highly attuned to influence and control, and when an empath steps into their own strength, sets firm boundaries, or simply refuses to react to manipulation, it disrupts the narcissist's sense of dominance. Suddenly, the narcissist feels unsettled, frustrated, and even threatened because the empath's calm, grounded energy highlights everything they cannot control. This awareness is often invisible to everyone else, but the narcissist can feel it in subtle ways. The lack of emotional reaction, the gentle refusal to be drawn into drama, or the quiet confidence that radiates from the empath. It's almost as if the empath has a force field that shields them from manipulation, and the narcissist instinctively recognizes that their usual tactics are losing power. What makes this moment so powerful is that the empath doesn't need to announce their growth or confront the narcissist directly. Their rise is evident in energy alone. This is what terrifies the narcissist the most. Not aggression, not revenge, but the simple fact that the empath is evolving, thriving, and moving forward while remaining completely centered and unaffected by attempts to undermine them. Every manipulation fails, every provocation falls flat, and the narcissist starts to feel the quiet but undeniable truth. They are no longer in control, and the empath's influence is growing. This realization can stir fear, confusion, or even subtle attempts to regain authority, yet the empath's continued calm and clarity only magnifies the shift. Over time, the narcissist cannot help but notice the transformation because energy doesn't lie. Power doesn't have to shout to be recognized, and the silent rise of the empath becomes an undeniable force that the narcissist can feel, yet cannot stop. There's a rhythm to life that most people rarely notice. A subtle flow that moves beyond our schedules, plans, and even our deepest desires. And it's what many call divine timing. For the empath, this timing isn't just coincidence, It's the universe arranging everything so that growth, healing, and awakening happen exactly when it's meant to, often in ways that feel almost magical or impossible at first. Think of it like the perfect moment when the tide rises just enough to carry a small boat over a sandbar that would otherwise hold it back. Everything aligns in a way that feels effortless, even though it took unseen forces working behind the scenes. Empaths often feel life deeply, absorbing energy, emotions, and experiences from those around them. And because of this, their journey can sometimes seem chaotic or overwhelming. But divine timing ensures that even the most confusing or painful moments have a purpose, creating opportunities for clarity, strength, and transformation exactly when they are ready to receive them. It is in these moments, often unnoticed at first, that the empath begins to sense a shift in their own power, a growing confidence that comes not from forcing change, but from allowing life to unfold naturally. The universe has a way of putting the right people, challenges, and experiences in front of them at the right moment, helping them learn lessons they could not have understood earlier, and preparing them for a rise that feels inevitable once it begins. Even the obstacles, the betrayals, and the moments of doubt are part of this timing, acting as invisible guides to shape resilience and awareness. As the empath trusts this process, they start noticing patterns, signs, and synchronicities that others miss, realizing that nothing happens too early or too late. Every interaction, every setback, every small victory is a carefully placed piece of the puzzle, designed to reveal their own strength and wisdom. And while narcissists or toxic people in their lives may sense the shift, feeling powerless or unsettled as the empath steps into alignment with this divine timing, the empath themselves moves quietly, steadily, and with purpose. There is no rush, no need for validation, only a deep sense of trust that everything unfolds exactly as it should. This is the magic of divine timing. It does not force, it does not demand, it simply prepares, guides, and elevates, allowing the empath to rise in a way that feels natural, unstoppable, and perfectly orchestrated by forces greater than themselves. By recognizing and embracing this timing, the empath learns that true power doesn't come from control over others, but from harmony with life itself, understanding that the universe is always moving, always aligning, and always revealing the next step on their path to growth, freedom, and profound personal transformation. Patience is one of the most powerful yet underestimated tools in an empath's journey, and it plays a crucial role in their rise. Unlike impulsive reactions or rushed attempts to control outcomes, the empath learns that trusting the process allows growth and transformation to happen naturally, in alignment with the timing of life itself. Waiting doesn't mean being passive, it means observing, understanding, and allowing experiences to unfold while maintaining faith in their own path. During this time, every challenge, setback, or uncomfortable moment becomes a lesson, shaping resilience, emotional intelligence, and inner strength. Patience also allows empaths to avoid unnecessary conflicts, manipulations, or distractions that could derail their progress, especially when dealing with narcissists or toxic energies. By staying calm, measured, and deliberate, they create space for clarity and alignment, noticing patterns and opportunities that others might miss when they act hastily. This steady, trusting approach builds momentum that can't be forced. Like water gradually carving a path through rock, the empath's rise happens organically, leaving a lasting impact that feels effortless yet powerful. The universe, or divine timing, works alongside patience, ensuring that each step taken in awareness and composure leads to meaningful growth, new opportunities, and a deeper sense of empowerment. Over time, those around the empath, especially narcissists or energy-sensitive individuals, begin to feel the shift, recognizing that this rise is unstoppable precisely because it is patient, deliberate, and aligned with a higher purpose. In essence, patience becomes the quiet engine of the empath's power, transforming waiting into strength, observation into insight, and trust into an unstoppable force that shapes not just their own life, but the energy of everyone around them. Energy is invisible, yet it is the language that both empaths and narcissists instinctively understand. And when an empath begins to rise, these energy shifts become increasingly noticeable, often before any words are spoken or actions are taken. For the empath, every thought, feeling, and boundary influences the vibrations they emit, creating a subtle but undeniable aura of power, calm, and alignment. This energy radiates outward, attracting what resonates and naturally repelling what does not, including the toxic patterns that narcissists rely on for control. Narcissists, who thrive on manipulating, dominating, and sensing weaknesses in others, immediately perceive these shifts, even if they cannot articulate why they feel unsettled. They notice that attempts to provoke, pressure, or control the empath no longer produce the expected reactions. Instead, they encounter calm resistance, emotional clarity, and an inner strength that challenges their usual dynamics. The empath's energy begins to act as a stabilizing force, subtly redefining the environment and influencing interactions without needing confrontation or aggression. Over time, this creates a ripple effect. The narcissist's energy becomes more erratic, anxious, and desperate as they sense a loss of control, while the empath's vibrations continue to rise in confidence, awareness, and alignment with their true self. These changes in energy are not sudden explosions, but gradual shifts that accumulate over time, building an almost magnetic influence that others feel before seeing. The empath's energy grows more grounded, compassionate, and intuitive, allowing them to navigate relationships and challenges with insight rather than reaction, while the narcissist's energy becomes increasingly chaotic, unstable, and reactive, as if they are pushing against a force they cannot move. Interestingly, these energy shifts are not limited to direct interactions. They can be felt in the surrounding environment as well, influencing mutual acquaintances, co-workers, and even social dynamics, as the empath's presence subtly reshapes the emotional landscape. Over time, the difference becomes stark. The empath's calm, radiant energy contrasts sharply with the narcissist's tension and agitation, highlighting the growing imbalance in influence and control. This is the silent, almost mystical language of power, the vibrational proof of growth, self-mastery, and alignment. It demonstrates that true strength is not measured by aggression or dominance, but by the ability to maintain steady, positive energy while remaining unaffected by attempts to destabilize it. As these shifts continue, they reinforce the empath's rise, showing that the power of energy and vibration is often more revealing than any action or word, creating a dynamic where the narcissist feels increasingly powerless, while the empath moves forward in quiet, unstoppable authority, perfectly in tune with the natural flow of life and the divine timing that guides their journey. One of the most transformative tools an empath can embrace on their journey of growth is the practice of setting strong, intentional boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to shut others out. They are protective measures that define what is acceptable and what drains energy, allowing the empath to navigate life with clarity, confidence, and integrity. By establishing limits on how much emotional energy they give to others, what behaviors they will tolerate, and the types of relationships they engage in, empaths create a foundation for unstoppable ascent. These boundaries act as a filter, letting in positivity, alignment, and supportive connections, while gently but firmly keeping out manipulation, toxicity, and energy-draining dynamics, especially from narcissists who thrive on overextending or controlling others. The act of enforcing boundaries is empowering because it demonstrates self-respect, self-awareness, and self-prioritization, qualities that naturally radiate outward and influence the environment around the empath. Over time, boundaries become a silent declaration of personal strength. They communicate without words that the empath will no longer be used, controlled, or diminished, and that their energy is valuable and non-negotiable. For narcissists and toxic individuals, these boundaries are deeply unsettling. They immediately sense the shift in control and influence, often reacting with subtle frustration or attempts to push back. Yet the empath remains grounded and unwavering. In essence, boundaries do not just protect, they accelerate growth, amplify self-worth, and create a clear path for the empath to rise steadily, securely, and without unnecessary resistance. They transform vulnerability into strength, compassion into clarity, and empathy into a force that is both quiet and powerful. By mastering the art of boundaries, the empath aligns with their true self, ensures their energy is preserved for what truly matters, and demonstrates that rising with integrity is far more effective and enduring than reacting to manipulation or conflict. Ultimately, boundaries empower the empath to move through life with grace, confidence, and unstoppable momentum, reshaping relationships, environments, and even the perceptions of those who once sought to control them. One of the most powerful tools an empath can develop is emotional detachment, not in the sense of becoming cold or unfeeling, but in the ability to remain centered and peaceful in situations where chaos, manipulation, or conflict arise. By choosing peace over engagement, the empath gains clarity and control over their own energy, refusing to be pulled into drama or the games of narcissists. This detachment is not avoidance. It is an active choice to prioritize their inner well-being, to rise above reactions that would otherwise drain their power. When an empath detaches emotionally, they create a protective space around themselves, allowing them to observe situations objectively, respond with wisdom, and maintain alignment with their values rather than being swept away by fear, anger, or frustration. This calm presence becomes magnetic, demonstrating strength without aggression, and it naturally unsettles narcissists who rely on emotional reactions to maintain influence and control. The empath's detachment is a quiet form of authority. It communicates without words that their energy cannot be manipulated, their boundaries cannot be crossed, and their path cannot be diverted by attempts to provoke or dominate. Over time, this superpower transforms relationships and environments because the empath moves through the world with consistent integrity and emotional stability, and those around them, especially narcissists, feel the shift. What was once a playground for manipulation becomes a space where the empath's grounded energy sets the tone, illustrating that true power does not come from control over others, but from mastery over one's own mind and emotions. Choosing peace over conflict allows the empath to conserve energy, grow in self-awareness, and step confidently into their rising influence, all while remaining aligned with divine timing and their higher purpose. In essence, emotional detachment is not a withdrawal from life, it is an elevation, a way to navigate challenges with strength, grace, and unstoppable inner power, quietly reshaping the dynamics between themselves and those who once sought to destabilize them, and showing that the rise of an empath is as much about who they refuse to become as it is about the person they are choosing to be. One of the most inspiring aspects of an empath's rise is the way triumphs unfold quietly yet powerfully, often in ways that go unnoticed by the wider world but are deeply felt by those who witness the transformation. Unlike flashy victories or dramatic displays of dominance, the wins of an empath are subtle, rooted in personal growth, resilience, and the consistent alignment of their actions with their values. Imagine an empath who has endured manipulation in a workplace or toxic patterns in personal relationships. Instead of responding with anger, confrontation, or retaliation, they focus on their own development, honing skills, deepening knowledge, and cultivating a calm, grounded presence. Over time, their contributions become undeniable, their insights valued, and their influence felt in ways that no one could have predicted. In another scenario, an empath may quietly step away from a relationship that drains them, choosing solitude, self-reflection, or a path of spiritual alignment, only to discover that life opens doors to more supportive friendships, opportunities, and experiences. These triumphs are unexpected because they are not broadcasted or forced. They occur naturally as a result of patience, inner strength, and trust in the process. Even in the face of a narcissist's attempts to undermine or control, the empath's composed actions create ripples of change. Colleagues may recognize their integrity and leadership, friends may gravitate toward their calm wisdom, and situations that once seemed limiting transform into platforms for influence and growth. Hypothetically, an empath might quietly excel in a project while remaining unassuming, only for their work to speak for itself, earning recognition, respect, and results that surprise even those who doubted them. The power lies in the fact that these triumphs do not rely on aggression, manipulation, or seeking approval. They are the natural outcomes of alignment with self, values, and divine timing. In every example, the empath demonstrates that strength is not always loud or visible. It is measured in patience, consistency, resilience, and the courage to remain authentic under pressure. Even narcissists or toxic influences feel these victories indirectly. They sense the shift in control, the rise in confidence, and the calm authority that cannot be shaken. What makes these triumphs truly remarkable is that they inspire others without demanding attention, influence without coercion, and transform situations in ways that feel almost effortless but are the result of profound inner work and awareness. Ultimately, the empath's unexpected triumphs are a testament to the power of quiet persistence, emotional intelligence, and spiritual alignment, proving that true victory comes not from confrontation or dominance, but from rising steadily, authentically, and aligned with the energy of life, leaving a lasting impact that resonates far beyond the immediate moment and sets the stage for continued growth and empowerment. A crucial part of an empath's rise is inner healing, a process that goes far beyond external victories and quiet power. It begins with self-awareness, the deep and sometimes challenging understanding of one's own emotions, patterns, and triggers. Through this self-reflection, empaths start to recognize where they have absorbed negativity, where they have overextended themselves, and where they have unconsciously allowed manipulation or toxicity to take root. Forgiveness becomes a cornerstone of this healing, not as a way to condone harmful behavior, but as a tool to release lingering anger, resentment, or attachment to outcomes that no longer serve them. It frees the empath from the weight of the past and allows them to operate from a place of clarity and strength rather than reaction and pain. Spiritual growth accompanies this journey, guiding them to trust their intuition, embrace their higher purpose, and align with the energy of the universe or divine timing. This combination of self-awareness, forgiveness, and spiritual expansion empowers the empath to move with confidence, clarity, and resilience, creating a foundation that is impervious to the manipulation or control of narcissists. As they heal, their energy shifts, becoming more centered, balanced, and radiant, naturally attracting positive influences and opportunities while repelling toxicity. Inner healing also teaches patience and perspective, showing that struggles are lessons and setbacks are opportunities for deeper growth. In this space of alignment, empaths no longer seek validation or struggle for approval. They simply exist in their truth, and their rise becomes inevitable. Those around them, especially narcissists, begin to sense this change. The calm confidence, the emotional stability, and the radiant energy of someone who has healed internally are impossible to manipulate. Ultimately, inner healing is the secret engine behind the empath's ascent. It transforms pain into power, weakness into resilience, and past struggles into wisdom, allowing them to navigate life with a profound sense of peace and unstoppable momentum, fully prepared to step into their true power and influence without needing to fight or prove anything to anyone. When an empath rises quietly and begins to reclaim their power, the narcissist's frustration becomes almost palpable, though it often manifests in subtle, almost invisible ways. Unlike overt anger or dramatic outbursts, this frustration is layered, hidden beneath forced smiles, passive-aggressive comments, or repeated attempts to regain influence over situations and people they once controlled effortlessly. The narcissist may become impatient, criticizing or undermining the empath in small, calculated ways, testing boundaries that are no longer easily crossed. They may try to provoke reactions, creating tension, drama, or doubt, yet the empath's calm and emotional detachment render these attempts largely ineffective. Every failed manipulation, ignored insult, or unprovoked calm response chips away at the narcissist's sense of control, leaving them increasingly restless, anxious, and uncertain. Even the smallest successes of the empath, maintaining composure, setting boundaries, or thriving independently, amplify this frustration because it exposes the narcissist's reliance on external validation and emotional dominance. Over time, this subtle energy shift is undeniable. The narcissist feels a creeping loss of influence, a quiet alarm that their usual strategies no longer work, and a sense of discomfort they cannot easily explain. This frustration is both a reaction and a warning. They instinctively know that the empath's rise is real, permanent, and unstoppable, yet their inability to control it only intensifies their agitation. While outsiders may overlook these micro-reactions, they're a clear signal of power shifting. The empath's inner strength and alignment with their own values disrupt the narcissist's familiar dynamics, leaving them off balance and increasingly ineffective. Ultimately, the narcissist's frustration is a reflection of the empath's growth, a subtle but undeniable proof that rising quietly with confidence and peace is far more powerful than confrontation or aggression. The rise of the empath becomes evident not through noise or spectacle, but through the quiet mounting disquiet of those who once sought to dominate, showing that true power lies in calm, consistency, and self-mastery, and that those who cannot control it can only react in frustration and fear. When an empath begins to rise into their full power, the effects extend far beyond their own personal growth, creating a ripple that subtly but profoundly influences relationships, work environments, and social circles. The empath's calm confidence, emotional stability, and clear boundaries act as a magnetic force, attracting people who align with their values and repelling those who bring toxicity or manipulation. In relationships, this often leads to a transformation where friends, family, or partners respond to the empath with greater respect, honesty, and appreciation, or, in some cases, step away when they can no longer exert control or provoke reactions. In professional settings, the empath's quiet competence, empathy, and integrity inspire trust, collaboration, and recognition, often allowing them to achieve influence and results without aggressive tactics or competition. Even social circles and community dynamics are affected, as the empath's energy sets a tone that encourages authenticity, mutual respect, and meaningful connection, shifting group interactions toward harmony and balance. The ripple effect is not always immediately visible. It unfolds gradually, as people notice the empath's calm presence, consistency, and ability to navigate challenges without drama or conflict. Narcissists and energy-sensitive individuals sense these changes acutely. They feel the shift in influence and control, even if they cannot articulate why, and often react with frustration, subtle manipulation, or attempts to regain dominance. Yet the empath's continued alignment and inner strength maintain the momentum of the ripple, showing that true power is measured not by confrontation, but by the subtle reshaping of energy and influence around them. Over time, this ripple effect amplifies, creating environments, relationships, and opportunities that are more supportive, balanced, and aligned with the empath's growth, while naturally removing negativity and resistance from their sphere. It demonstrates that the rise of an empath is not only a personal transformation, but a force that impacts everyone around them, quietly redefining social dynamics, elevating collective energy, and showing strength, clarity, and integrity ripple outward in ways that are powerful, enduring, and impossible to ignore. Every empath carries within them a power that is often underestimated, not because it is small, but because it is quiet, subtle, and deeply aligned with the flow of life rather than the demands of the world. This power is not about dominating others or asserting control, but about rising from a place of authenticity, self-awareness, and spiritual alignment, trusting that every step of the journey is exactly as it should be. To embrace this power, it begins with a conscious decision to trust your own path, to acknowledge that challenges, setbacks, and even the presence of difficult people are not obstacles meant to stop you, but lessons meant to strengthen you. The quiet ascent of an empath is unlike any other form of growth. It is steady, deliberate, and deeply rooted in understanding that the timing of life is divine, that nothing happens too early or too late, and that every experience contributes to the unfolding of your highest potential. When you begin to embrace this power, you realize that reacting to manipulation, drama, or attempts to control you only diminishes your energy, whereas rising quietly and with clarity amplifies it. The essence of this rise is in alignment with your values, your intuition, and the guidance of a higher power that orchestrates events and relationships in ways that serve your growth. Trusting this process requires patience, discernment, and courage, because the world often rewards loud displays of strength and punishes subtlety, yet it is the quiet ascent that is enduring, unstoppable, and transformative. Every time you choose peace over conflict, boundaries over compromise, and self-awareness over reaction, you are embracing your power in its most profound form. This is not about waiting passively for life to unfold, but about actively engaging with it while remaining centered, grounded, and attuned to the energy around you, knowing that every challenge is preparing you for greater influence, clarity, and fulfillment. When the empath steps into this power, even narcissists or toxic individuals feel it. They sense the shift, the loss of control, and the quiet authority that cannot be shaken, but this should not distract or deter you. Instead, it is a sign that your growth is real, impactful, and aligned with a higher purpose. Embracing your power also means releasing the need for external validation, understanding that your worth is inherent, and that your energy, decisions, and path are guided by forces beyond mere human perception. It is a call to rise with integrity, to honor your boundaries, and to navigate relationships and challenges with wisdom, not aggression. Spiritual alignment and self-mastery are the foundations of this power. They allow you to move forward without forcing outcomes, manipulating others, or reacting impulsively, demonstrating that true strength is silent, intentional, and unstoppable. As you embrace this power fully, you begin to notice the transformation not only within yourself, but also in the world around you. The energy of relationships shifts. Opportunities appear that align with your values, and challenges that once seemed insurmountable become opportunities for growth. The universe, God, or divine timing works in concert with your actions, creating synchronicities and pathways that reflect the alignment of your choices, your energy, and your purpose. Ultimately, embracing your power is about trusting yourself and the process, stepping forward with quiet confidence, and knowing that every experience, every obstacle, and every triumph is part of a larger divine orchestration designed to elevate you to your highest potential. It is an invitation to rise without announcing it, to shine without forcing it, and to influence the world around you simply by being fully aligned with who you are and who you are meant to become, allowing God's timing to reveal the full scope of your power, and ensuring that your ascent is not only unstoppable, but also transformative, both for you and for the energy that surrounds you. The rise of empaths can be seen not just as a personal transformation, but as a deeply spiritual journey, intricately connected to divine timing, destiny, and the evolution of the soul. From this perspective, every experience, every challenge, and every interaction that the empath faces is purposeful, designed by forces greater than themselves to guide growth, awareness, and alignment with their highest self. Divine timing ensures that the empath encounters the right people, the right lessons, and the right opportunities exactly when they are ready to absorb their meaning, even if it feels delayed or uncertain from a human perspective. This timing is rarely accidental. It is a reflection of a universal intelligence orchestrating events to facilitate soul expansion, teaching patience, resilience, and discernment along the way. As the empath rises, they begin to perceive patterns and synchronicities that others might dismiss as coincidence, recognizing that these signs are markers of alignment with their destiny and spiritual path. Each moment of emotional struggle or relational challenge becomes a catalyst for deeper self-awareness, forgiveness, and inner transformation, reinforcing that their journey is not just about external success or influence, but about evolving their consciousness and understanding the purpose of their existence. From a soul perspective, the empath's rise represents the activation of latent abilities, heightened intuition, emotional clarity, and the capacity to influence energy and relationships in ways that reflect love, compassion, and wisdom rather than ego or control. This awakening is often invisible to the outside world, but profoundly felt within, as empaths begin to operate from a place of authenticity, alignment, and higher understanding, embodying lessons that transcend the material plane. Even the presence of narcissists and toxic individuals serves a spiritual purpose, offering opportunities to practice discernment, maintain boundaries, and refine emotional resilience. Their reactions and frustrations become mirrors reflecting the empath's growth and the shifting balance of energy. As empaths trust this divine process, they realize that their rise is both inevitable and necessary, a manifestation of destiny unfolding through the deliberate interplay of choice, learning, and spiritual evolution. Their journey exemplifies the principle that power grounded in alignment, wisdom, and compassion is far more enduring than power obtained through control, manipulation, or ego-driven tactics. In this way, the spiritual perspective reveals that the empath's ascent is not only a personal victory, but a cosmic alignment, a movement of energy that supports their soul's evolution while subtly influencing the collective consciousness around them. It underscores the profound truth that the rise of an empath is not merely a reaction to the world or to narcissists, but a purposeful awakening guided by divine timing, reflecting the natural unfolding of destiny and affirming that every challenge, every victory, and every moment of growth is a step in the evolution of their soul, perfectly timed, divinely orchestrated, and spiritually significant.
Narcissists have a unique way of perceiving the world around them, one that is highly attuned to control, influence, and emotional dominance, which is why they are often the first to sense when something shifts, even before anyone else notices. When an empath begins to rise, reclaiming their inner power, setting boundaries, and aligning with their values, narcissists instinctively feel the loss of control, even if the changes are subtle or completely internal. This sensitivity is rooted in their constant need to gauge others' reactions, maintain authority, and predict outcomes that serve their ego. Narcissists rely on emotional manipulation, attention, and validation as tools to stabilize their sense of self, and any disruption to these dynamics is immediately perceived as a threat. Even small shifts, such as an empath remaining calm in the face of provocation, refusing to engage in drama, or quietly asserting boundaries, send a signal that the usual power structure has changed, triggering anxiety, irritation, or frustration in the narcissist. Psychologically, this happens because narcissists measure their self-worth and control through external feedback. When an empath steps out of their influence, the narcissist senses a loss that feels both tangible and threatening, even if no confrontation occurs. Their perception operates almost like a radar, detecting energy shifts, unspoken confidence, and quiet authority that signals the rise of someone who cannot be manipulated. The feeling is often uncomfortable and confusing for them. They may not fully understand what is happening, but their instinct tells them that influence is slipping away, that the emotional leverage they once held is fading, and that the empath's growth is unstoppable. This early awareness is one reason why narcissists react defensively, with subtle manipulations, passive-aggressive behavior, or attempts to regain control. Yet their efforts often fail because the empath's rise is rooted in internal strength, clarity, and alignment, rather than external validation. The empath's energy, boundaries, and calm presence create a magnetic authority that cannot be dismantled by ego-driven tactics, leaving the narcissist in a state of constant, almost involuntary awareness of the shift. Over time, this creates a dynamic where the narcissist feels a creeping sense of loss, a quiet recognition that the empath is moving beyond their reach, while everyone else may still be unaware of the transformation taking place. It's a silent, psychological battlefield. The narcissist senses the loss before anyone else because their entire perception is built on control and dominance, and when those are no longer effective, the change is palpable and often unnerving. In this way, the empath's rise is as much a shift in unseen energy as it is a psychological reality, demonstrating that true empowerment does not have to be loud or confrontational. It can simply exist, and those who rely on manipulation will feel it long before it is visible to the rest of the world.